Davenport has these very nicely done murals on a couple of the buildings downtown, and we stopped to take a look at those. And while we were there, we met Dutch, who is a local.
Real neat guy. He knew everything about the town that there was.
He pointed out that in one of the murals, the telephone poles, the artist had originally painted it with only a couple of wires.
If you look at these poles here, I insisted with the artist that he put 10 pins on each cross arm, because that's
how many telephone lines there were.
Well, there were 10 circuits there.
Right. I'd never noticed that.
Well, neither would the common individual, but...
Right, right.
Had a lot of pride in Davenport, I can tell you that for sure. And we found out that in Davenport, the carriages were air-conditioned back then, according to the mural.
Check the little girl out. She's very comfortable, you know. Whereas this dude, he's not...
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's kind of...
Comfortable, uncomfortable.
Kind of sweaty. And...
Well, plus he's pushing the carriage, so...
Oh!
You'd think he was...
Now I get it. Okay, we need to go to Arcadia. All right,
let's get on the road.
Every year, thousands of tourists like to travel along Route 66 and retrace the old road. Call it nostalgia, call it history buffs, call them whatever you want, but they seek out these interesting places along the route. The state of Oklahoma actually declared Route 66 a historical landmark all the way across the state. Oklahoma has more miles of 66 than any other state between Chicago and Santa Monica. So obviously we have the most unique landmarks too.
We stopped at the Round Barn to take a look and see what that was all about. At the time we visited, they were actually re-roofing a section of it, and that was kind of interesting, seeing them nailing the wood shake on the thing, because it's quite a piece of work. I mean, the thing is, you know, it's handmade. There was no order up a Round Barn kit back in 1898 when it was built. It's completely original.
Hey, what's your name? Yeah, I understand you know a lot about this Round Barn.
Oh, yes, sir, I sure do.
What's your name?
I'm Mr. Sam. Everybody in this country knows Mr. Sam around here.
Oh, okay.
All right, now, you know, Daddy had a farm just right down there on the river.
Oh, okay.
You know, all my growing up years, and that's where I lived.
Mr. Sam, full of energy. Couldn't keep up with Mr. Sam.
He'd either just finished an espresso or is just like the most energetic octogenarian I've ever met.
And then about 60 years ago, I bought my great aunt's farm, which is 3 miles east.
Oh, okay.
Right down the road. The prettiest farmest part of the country.
He was something to watch. You could just feed off of Mr. Sam's energy.
But anyway, I've lived out here, and I know all the stories about the barn and all this country. Right. And when people come into the barn, I'll start right here, and I'll go all the way around and telling stories, and they love to hear those stories.
Well, really how old is this barn? When was it built?
Oh my goodness, it was built back in the late 1897.
Okay.
98. And it was built by Mr. Oder, and what's so strange about it, he built this great big barn right out in the middle of a 320-acre farm. and there was no highway, no railroad, no town, no nothing. And he built this beautiful big barn. The upstairs he built it for loose hay, and see, that was before we had hay balers, and so that's why it's so big up there. But there's no way in this world, when you get up there, you'll see why that they can't fill that thing full of hay. It's just, it goes up to 43 feet up there at the point up there.
Wow.
And it's a monster of a room.
He was more than happy to show us around and give us some history of the barn. And I loved his story about one of the reasons that they made round barns was so that the evil spirits couldn't hide in the corners. I'd never heard that one before. Up
in Pennsylvania, up in Massachusetts, they were very, very superstitious back in the early days. And so the people that built the round barns, the farmers, they were afraid the devil was going to catch him if they caught him up there working up in the loft up there, and in a square cornered barn like that, they would catch him in the corner. And so now if they built a round barn, you go around and around, and
no corners.
He never would catch you. And so that's why they built.
I never heard that. That's interesting. You didn't just make that up, did you?
No. That's
telling the truth. Okay.
Now,
I still kind of wonder if he didn't make that up.
Now, Mr. Oder didn't, the man that built this barn, he didn't do that. Now, he built it because Oklahoma has always been known as what?
Tornado Alley.
Tornado Alley. Okay. Now, even back in the 1800s, we had tornadoes here in Oklahoma.
Sure.
And so he said, instead of building a square barn where the wind could hit that flat side and knock it down,
put no
guess
sides
what?
on it.
Look at here. Look at here.
Wow.
Where the wind will go this way and this way.
Sure.
I have stood right here. The wind
It's aerodynamic.
Yeah, the wind blowing 70 miles an hour. And you couldn't even stand up out here. I go inside. You don't even know the wind's blowing.
No creaking.
Wow.
And so that's why he built the round barn. He did a fantastic job on doing that.
Fun to talk to. He was a neat guy.
I only pray that I'm half that energetic when I'm that age.
Well, Sam, I appreciate it. Very informative. It was nice to meet you. We're gonna take a walk around here. And
guys.
see a little bit more of it. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Okay.
Thank you.
The Round Barn in Arcadia, folks. Don't miss it.
Stay tuned. Two Wheel Oklahoma will be right back.